Hey, hi everyone. In this particular lecture, we are going to learn about the HTTP status code of the 2XX series. In this particular video, we are only going to understand those status code which are actually very important and are frequently used, right? So, in the 2XX series, we normally learn about the 200, 201, 202 and 204, right? These fours are status code are actually used frequently and the rest are not very important. So let's start understanding each status code one by one, right? So we are going to start with the 200, right? Now you can understand this 200 by the word okay, right? Why does this okay? Well, basically, this status code 200 says that the request has worked fine, right? And the server sent back the expected response. That means a success. Basically, what you want from the server. This is your server and this is your client, right? You send some request, right? And the server needs to process that particular request. And after processing, you want that server should give you a particular response, right? This is what you desire or from the server, right? And if this thing perfectly works, in that particular case, we give the server gives the status code of 200, right? This is what it means with the 200, right? Now let's move forward toward 201. 201, you can understand this particular status code with the help of this word created. Now why created? Basically, when a new resource is being sent to the server and are successfully created on the server, in that particular case this 201 status code is used. Let me explain you. Let's say that I'm having this server and you are having this client. On the client side there is a form, right? There's a form where multiple details are filled. Now you want that after making the post request, what happened, these all data which is present inside the form should get to the server side, and are these, like whatever the information is written here, should get created on the server side, right? Now when this particular thing happens, in that case we give the status code of 201. Means the server gives the status code of 201, that the whatever the information, whatever the data which been sent from the client side towards the server side has successfully created on the server, right? Now these data are now present on the server side. This is called your 201 status code. Now let's move forward towards our next, which is 202. Well, this 202 is basically accepted. Accepted, right? You can learn it with the help of this word accepted. Now why this accepted? Basically, when the server accepts your request, right? Means this is your server and this is your client, right? You send some request, so server does what? Server actually accept your request. In many of the cases what happens, that whatever request that you send to the server, right? Sometimes may your server has some fault or some defect, and the server, sorry, your request have some fault and defect and your server don't accept that particular request. But when the time comes that your server accept this particular request which is sent by the client, but the server is taking little bit of time more than the expected, right, to process the information, right? In that particular case, what happens, this particular 202 status code is used, right? So if I say you in a clean word, let me write it down. When server accepted your request, right, accepted the request, in that case we send this status code 202, but it's still processing it, right? Means the server has accepted the request, but after accepting the request it is still processing, so we are sending the status code of 202, right? Now basically this status code 202 are now, these are used for the long run tasks, like when you upload a video, right? When you upload a very large video, so the video gets to the server side, but the server takes time to process the information or the data of this complete video. So in that particular case, we can use this status code at the server side, right? That I have received your video, but I'm taking some time to process the complete information present inside the video, right? Now let's move forward. Now we are going to talk about this 204 status code. Now what is this? Well, basically this is you can understand it with the help of no content. No content. Now what is this no content status code? Basically when the request that you have sent has actually worked, right? Means whatever you have sent, the server has successfully processed that particular request, but the server is not having anything to send you back in the form of response, right? You have sent something to the server, right? You have some request to the server. Server has successfully processed that information, sorry, request, right? Server has successfully processed that particular request, but server don't have anything to send you back. In that particular case, we use the status code of 204. Should I tell you just a second, should I tell you the use case of it? Basically you can understand it with the help of that delete request, right? Delete request. Let's say that I want to delete something, right? So I made a request to the server that kindly delete this particular information, and that particular resource is now removed, but there's no need for a body in the response, right? That server should say you that yeah, I successfully deleted something. There was no need. You sent something, server has processed it, but there's no need for any response to be sent back to the client again, right? So this, at that time we need this 204 status code, right? So this is all about 2xx series. I hope you understood the concept very clearly. If you do, then make sure that you hit and the like and the subscribe button. Let's meet in the next video in which we will talk about the 3xx series. Goodbye.